Coffee is a powerful medicine for your brain, and nobody is telling you this. Let me ask you a simple question. What was the very first thing you did this morning? For many of us, the answer is almost automatic. We walked into the kitchen, put the water on to heat, reached for that bag or can of coffee, and took a deep breath of that aroma that seems to wake up the soul before the very first sip. That ritual is not just a habit. It is one of the most comforting experiences we have, one that carries decades of warm memories. The smell of coffee takes us back to childhood, to Grandma's kitchen, to lazy Sunday mornings with the whole family. And now, science is telling us that this beloved ritual may literally be protecting your brain. That is right. Today, I'm going to show you how your daily cup of coffee can be one of the most powerful tools you have to protect your mind, preserve your memory, and reduce your risk of diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and dementia. But there is an important detail, not just any coffee, and not prepared just any way. So stay with me until the end, because what I am going to share with you today could change the way you look at this drink you already love so much. And before we go any further, I would love to know, what city and country are you watching from right now? Write it in the comments below. It really helps us reach more people like you, people who deserve quality information about health and well-being. Let's start with the most important question. What does coffee actually do inside your brain? When you drink a cup of coffee, caffeine enters your bloodstream and travels quickly to your brain. Once there, it acts as a natural blocker of a substance called adenosine, which is exactly what makes us feel tired and sleepy. But caffeine does not stop there. Alongside it come antioxidants, and coffee is one of the richest sources of antioxidants in the American diet. Many people actually get more antioxidants from their coffee than from all the fruits and vegetables they eat combined. That is something very few people know. Those antioxidants fight what we call oxidative stress, which is basically the aging process happening inside our cells. And when that process accelerates in the brain, it starts opening the door to some very serious diseases. Let's talk about Alzheimer's. This disease, which frightens so many of us, is linked to the buildup of certain proteins in the brain called beta amyloid and tau. They accumulate as plaques and tangles that, over time, destroy the connections between neurons. Scientific studies show that regular coffee consumption throughout life is associated with a significantly lower risk of developing Alzheimer's. The antioxidants in coffee help reduce brain inflammation and make it harder for those harmful proteins to build up. It is not a cure, but it is real and consistent protection, backed by serious research. What about Parkinson's? This disease affects the neurons responsible for controlling movement, coordination, and balance. Caffeine has a direct action on the areas of the brain responsible for those functions. Multiple large studies conducted over decades show that people who drink coffee regularly have a considerably lower risk of developing Parkinson's disease. This is especially relevant for those of us over 60, which is exactly when those risks begin to increase. And there's more. Coffee stimulates what is called synaptic activity, which is the communication between neurons. Think of it this way. Your brain is a massive electrical network with billions of connected wires. Every time you think, remember something, solve a problem, or have a conversation, those wires are communicating. Coffee helps keep that communication active, smooth, and efficient. This has a direct impact on mental clarity, reasoning, memory, and the prevention of dementia in general. But now we come to the part that most people overlook entirely. Not all coffee is the same, and the way you prepare it makes all the difference. First, let's talk about the bean. If you want the best brain benefits, the ideal choice is 100% Arabica coffee. Why? The Arabica bean is lighter, has a finer and more delicate aroma, and contains less caffeine than what is known as Robusta coffee. That matters for us at this stage of life, when the heart deserves extra care. Arabica gives you all the brain benefits without overloading your cardiovascular system with excess caffeine. Fewer palpitations, less anxiety, more pleasure with every sip. Now, the roast. When coffee is roasted too dark, it becomes bitter and loses some of its nutrients and antioxidants. A very light roast can be too acidic for the stomach, which is a problem for anyone with gastric sensitivity. The perfect sweet spot is a medium roast. It preserves the antioxidants, delivers a balanced acidity that is gentle on your stomach, and brings that full-bodied aromatic flavor we all love so much. Now, let's talk about preparation, because this is where a lot of people go wrong without even realizing it. The first point is water temperature. Never pour boiling water directly over your coffee grounds. When water is at a full boil, the excessive heat burns the essential oils in the bean and releases unnecessary bitter compounds. The ideal approach is to wait 1 to 2 minutes after the water boils before pouring it over the coffee. This makes an enormous difference in flavor and preserves the beneficial compounds that support your health. The second point is about the paper filter. Before adding your coffee, rinse the filter by running a little hot water through it first. This removes chemical residues from the paper manufacturing process, and that faint papery taste that sometimes ends up in your cup. It is a simple step that greatly improves the quality of what you're drinking. And now the question everyone asks, how many cups a day? The science suggests that the ideal amount to get brain benefits without unwanted side effects is between 3 and 4 small cups per day. We are not talking about oversized mugs. We are talking about traditional coffee cups, which hold roughly 2 to 3 ounces each. That is the range where studies have found the greatest brain protection with the lowest risk of side effects. But pay attention, timing matters just as much. Coffee has a stimulating effect that can last several hours in the body. For those of us over 60, our metabolism processes caffeine more slowly. That means a cup of coffee at 5 in the afternoon could still be disrupting your sleep at midnight. And sleep is absolutely essential for brain health. It is during deep sleep that your brain literally cleans itself, flushing out the toxins that built up during the day, including those harmful proteins we mentioned earlier. So the recommended cutoff time is 4 in the afternoon. After that, your brain will thank you with a far more restful night of sleep. Let's talk now about something that seems simple but has a big impact: sugar and sweeteners. Many people add quite a bit of sugar to their coffee out of habit, often a habit going back to childhood. But this may be quietly undermining some of the brain benefits of the drink. Excess sugar generates inflammation in the body, and inflammation is exactly what we are trying to fight. The good news is that you do not have to cut sugar out all at once. Try reducing it gradually, a little less each week. Over time, you will notice that a good quality coffee, well prepared, has a natural sweetness and a balanced bitterness that stands completely on its own. Many people who make this transition say they could never go back to sugary coffee because the natural flavor becomes so much more satisfying. And there is one more point that very few people ever consider: hydration. Coffee has a mild diuretic effect, meaning it encourages the body to eliminate more fluid through urine. This is not a serious problem for most people, but it is an important reminder to stay on top of our hydration. The practical rule is simple. For every cup of coffee you drink, also drink a glass of water. This keeps your body's fluid balance in check, makes sure your kidneys are working well, and helps your brain function at full capacity. The brain is made up largely of water, and when we are dehydrated, our thinking slows down, our memory becomes less reliable, and our mood suffers. So coffee and water, always together. Let me wrap everything up in a simple and clear way. Coffee, when chosen carefully and consumed mindfully, is so much more than a beverage. It is a powerful ally for the health of your brain. The antioxidants and caffeine in medium roast Arabica coffee fight the buildup of harmful proteins associated with Alzheimer's, protect the neurons responsible for movement that are affected by Parkinson's, and stimulate communication between neurons, keeping your mind sharp and your memory strong. Choose a 100% Arabica coffee with a medium roast. Prepare it with water at the right temperature, and always rinse your paper filter first. Limit yourself to 3 or 4 small cups per day, always before 4 in the afternoon. Reduce sugar gradually so you can enjoy the natural sweetness of a quality bean. And drink a glass of water for every cup of coffee. Drinking coffee mindfully is an act of self-care. It is a way of respecting your body, honoring a tradition, and making a smart choice for your health at the same time. Now I want to hear from you. Do you have a special coffee ritual? A brewing trick you learned from someone in your family? Share it in the comments. I love reading your stories. And if this video was helpful to you, share it with someone you love. A simple gesture like that can make a tremendous difference in someone else's life. God bless you and your family. Sending you a warm embrace, and I will see you in the next video. Everything I shared today is for educational purposes only. This information is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any disease. Please consult with your healthcare provider before making any changes to your diet or adding new ingredients to your routine, especially if you are taking medications or have any health conditions.